Today, we're diving into one of the most haunting and just baffling mysteries of the 21st century. It's the story of Maura Murray, a 21-year-old nursing student who, back in 2004, just vanished without a single trace.
And that's really the question at the heart of this entire thing, isn't it? On a dark, cold night on some quiet country road, a young woman was right there, 1 minute, and completely gone the next. So you have to ask yourself, how does something like that even happen?
You know, to even begin to understand how someone can just disappear, we have to look at who they were. Maura Murray, she was a smart, athletic student at UMass Amherst. But in the days right before she went missing, her behavior, well, it took a really strange and deeply unsettling turn. I mean, just look at this timeline. You can practically feel the stress building. First, a minor car crash, then this really uncharacteristic breakdown at her campus job, and then she starts secretly looking up directions to go north, towards New Hampshire and Vermont. The last piece of the puzzle? The very morning she vanishes, she sends an email to her professors, making up a story about a death in the family. You put it all together, and it's crystal clear that something was very, very wrong. So Maura packs a bag, pulls some cash from an ATM, grabs some alcohol, and just starts driving north. Nobody knows where she was headed. And then, at 7:27 p.m., her car crashes on a really sharp hairpin turn on this remote road. It's a spot the locals call the Weathered Barn Curve. Right after the crash, a local school bus driver, a guy named Butch Atwood, was driving by and he stopped to see if she was okay. He is the last person we know of who ever spoke to Maura. He said she was cold, she was shivering, but she didn't seem hurt. But here's the crucial part. She told him not to call the police. She waved him off and insisted she'd already called for roadside assistance, which we now know was impossible. There was basically zero cell service in that area. And right here, this is the exact moment where the story just completely derails from a simple car accident into this impossible mystery. Because everything that happens next hangs on this incredibly, almost unbelievably short window of time. 7 to 10 minutes. That's it. Think about that. Just 7 to 10 minutes. Butch Atwood drives the short way to his house, calls the police, and by the time the first officer shows up to the scene, she was gone. This really shows you the absolute puzzle police walked into. They find her car, and it's locked. Inside, her wallet, her cell phone, all of her personal stuff. But what's missing? Well, Maura, obviously, her car keys, and maybe the weirdest part of all, any proof of where she went. There were no footprints in the snow around the car, no sign of a struggle. It was as if she had just evaporated into the cold night air. Okay, so as soon as police realize they have an accident scene with a missing driver, a massive search effort kicks into high gear. We're talking helicopters in the air, search teams on the ground, and of course they brought in the canine units. And this might be the single most important clue from the entire investigation. The search dogs picked up Maura's scent right away. They followed it for about 100 feet down the road, into the middle of the pavement, and then nothing. It just stopped. Dead. Which tells investigators one thing pretty clearly. She almost certainly got into a vehicle. So in the nearly 2 decades since that night, everyone from law enforcement to her family to armies of internet sleuths, they've all focused on 3 main theories. But as you're about to see, every single one of them has a major problem that keeps it from making perfect sense. All right, let's just walk through these. Theory 1, she ran away. I mean, her strange behavior leading up to it seems to point that way, right? But why would you leave your wallet, your phone, your money? Plus, there's been absolutely zero activity from her since. Okay, theory 2. She panicked, ran into the woods, and died from exposure. It was a cold night, it's possible, but that just doesn't line up with the evidence. No tracks in the snow, and years of searches have turned up nothing. So that leaves foul play. That an opportunistic predator just happened to be driving by and picked her up. The dog's scent trail totally supports this idea. But again, there's just no physical evidence, no witnesses, no signs of a crime, nothing. All of these questions, this total lack of answers, it's allowed this case to grow into something much bigger than just a missing persons report. It's become a piece of modern folklore, a true obsession for a generation of armchair detectives. So why does this story stick with us when so many others just fade? Well, it's kind of a perfect storm for a modern mystery. You've got a young, relatable person, you've got a series of bizarre clues leading up to it, and then you have that insane 7 to 10 minute timeline that seems to defy all logic.
It's a story with this huge, gaping hole right in the middle. And in our internet age, a vacuum like that just sucks in endless speculation, turning one family's private tragedy into a public puzzle that people just can't let go of.
Ultimately, the Maura Murray case is about so much more than just what happened on that dark road. It's really about our own relationship with the unknown. It makes us face this really unsettling idea that maybe not every question has an answer. Maybe not every story gets a neat ending. And it really makes you wonder, when all the facts run out and the only thing left is the story, does it ever truly end?